Almost at 100 subscribers. Would you look at that? So I was taking some time to reflect just here as I just filmed my last video. And I think I'm about 12 videos in now. And I've almost hit 100 subscribers, which is a huge milestone for me. I was just talking to my girlfriend, I think it was about 10 days ago, maybe a week, 10 days ago, just before I posted my Da Nang content. And I was sitting at about, I think it's 7 subscribers. And I was so happy to have 7 subscribers. And I had maybe about 100 views in total. I was like, it was so good. I was like, there's 7 people that want to watch my videos. And back then I was doing Tbilisi content. And if you don't know a bit about me, I left Australia about 3 years ago. I'm not good with times, I just kind of throw a rough number out. About 3 years ago, lived in Georgia, the country Georgia, not the state of America. And I learned a lot of things. It's a very challenging country to live in. English is not very widely spoken. I came when the war, just before the war started, and then all the Russians fled, so I had to kind of learn a lot of things on the go. And there wasn't much content, surprisingly, about Tbilisi, even though it was very popular. So I started to make videos about 3 months ago, just trying to help people out for Tbilisi, and they got no views. I think maybe like 10, 20, 30 views. And I guess that's kind of a thing of being a new YouTuber, is my expectations were low and I was just happy to get the views. So to be at 91 subscribers and 100 subscribers is going to be a big milestone for me. It's just such a good feeling. Tbilisi content I knew wouldn't do well. Definitely not well at all, because Tbilisi has a lot of its problems. A lot of people left Tbilisi because of the war. All the prices went high. It's very politically unstable, has a pro-Russian government installed in the country. If you don't know, Georgia had a war in 2008, I believe. It's 2008 or 2012, I always get it mixed up. And basically Russia took over about 20-25% of the country. So Georgians don't particularly like Russians. That's just how it goes. So when they all fled Russia, when the draft happened, all the Georgians kind of got angry and they basically said, well, you should be fighting for your country, which is, I can understand, right? But it's a bit more complicated than that. So Russia's been around there for a while and they basically install this government. There's always protests. So people are kind of put off by Georgia. Always what you see in Georgian videos about Georgia is it safe? And it is a very safe place. I'd argue that it's safer than here. So, but then I decided I was going to actually do a huge series on Tbilisi. I actually have a lot of video ideas and scripts I've already written out, but I knew they wouldn't do well. So I was like, well, let's just try to do some Da Nang content, because I know that'll do much better. And of course it did. This is definitely the place. It's much more exciting. There's a lot more going on here than there is in Tbilisi at the moment. But since I have come here, what was really interesting was my demographics for my YouTube channel. Sorry, I'm looking down at my phone. I just want to pull up my demographics. I'll actually show you here. Let me just flip this around. So this is my views. So they have plummeted. So there was this huge peak, and that was 2 of my videos, which I do have a little bit of a secret. So the 2 videos, if you are subscribed to my main channel, that you might have seen, they're the 2 top performing ones. They're actually done by an AI. It wasn't actually me. Well, it technically was me. But my channel is basically, I'm just testing a bunch of things, different styles, see what works, see what doesn't. And I'm just trying to get all the analytics. But if you look, my eyes, I kind of look like I'm drunk or I'm stoned. But what I'm actually doing is I'm looking like this and I'm reading a script. And I've got this AI software which moves my eyes to the camera. So I was testing that out and I was seeing the limits I could push it to. I just didn't expect that they'll be my 2 biggest channels. So everyone probably thinks that I've come here and I'm getting stoned all the time, but that's fine. That's definitely fine. But I've noticed the best way to do it now, so for my main channel, is I'll put a script behind my Pocket 3. I have a DJI or DJI, Digits, whatever it's called, DJI Pocket 3. And I'll put the script just behind the camera. It's very small, and I can read it, and then I can use the software to look at the camera and just make the proper eye contact. Because I have really bad trouble staying on script. I can just ramble forever like I'm doing in this video. So that's something I am trying to work on. But what I find really funny is that my demographics have shifted so much from Tbilisi content. So my demographics were mainly female, and they were mainly a younger audience. But now if you have a look, so this is my demographics of my main YouTube channel. And as you can see, I'm surprised that there is 0% for 18 to 24. And my main demographic is actually 55 to 64. So my audience is much older. So statistically, you would be an older person than I am. Now this comes with its own challenges. So what I've been thinking about is, obviously this comes from the Da Nang content. So it's a retirement place. So I'm 33 years old, right? I can do retirement content, and technically you could argue that I am technically retired because I don't need to work. But I'm 33 years old, and me talking about retirement content probably doesn't really sit well with people. What I was actually aiming for with my main channel, and I still am, it's going to be a bit of a surprise and probably would do me some damage, definitely in the short term and maybe long term as well, is the purpose of my channel was to help people and to get them out of their main country. So if you're watching it and you're in your main country and you're not happy there, which is probably the case if you're watching me, is to help you find better places and try to work out where you should go. So I've lived in Australia, of course, all across Australia. I have lived in Georgia, the country Georgia. I've lived in Montenegro. I've lived into Bosnia. And you might be thinking, Bosnia, why would you go there? It's one of the best places in the world. I can't wait to do content on that, but I know it won't perform very well, so we'll see. And then now Vietnam, in Da Nang. So I want to always travel and live in different places and just try to get a better perspective of the world and where I should stay. For example, for me, I'm a convenience-based person. I like convenience in my life. If I don't have convenience in my life, I get a bit miserable. But yeah, for the 2 or 3 people that will watch this, because it'll be my first video on the channel, I'd like to hear what you think of what content you'd like to see. If you think that me going a different direction and just doing Da Nang content will affect me negatively,